Oh boy, we're in for some reading. Welcome back to Talos 2. Looks like we're gonna be on these terminals for quite some time. And sadly, they did not give the, text skipping functionality to the terminals. They didn't learn from Talos 1, or Talos 2, really. We have the, dialogue skip when talking, but not for terminals, sadly. Would have been nice if we could just, skip ahead, so I had to, click through everything again. So, what do? We picked Ginny as our companion, and it's everywhere at all times. Where can we possibly go to find a way to defeat it? The jungle, the islands, the ocean, or just go and defeat it, go and confront it directly. Let's go to the islands. I don't know what the islands are, but let's go to them. Genie HD, being a human female, has inbuilt flotation devices attached to the center of her chest. As such, she has no problem scaling the waves, and you cling to her back as she slips elegantly through the choppy waters. Jefferson, look! Cries Ginny HD as you climb upon the sandy beach. A dreadful mechanical clock! It has corrupted this beautiful island and all that lives and thrives upon it. She is right, for in the center of the island, on the top of a volcano, a baleful mechanical clock peers down at you. When it spies you, the clock starts shivering and shaking, triggering an eruption, and you are faced with no choice but to flee from this beautiful but corrupted island lest you be swallowed alive by hot liquid magma. You flee, knowing this was not the true specter of modernity, but merely one of its lieutenants. Okay. Now we only have one choice, so icy mountains, I guess. After a long day of travel, you arrive at the icy mountains. The great mountains are barren of plants and animal life, yet they are beautiful in their own way. Jagged and cragged and rugged, peaked with snow and gouged to the bedrock by merry little streams. But there seems to be nothing that could be useful in defeating the spectre of modernity. Well, says your companion, what now? Forge on. I think we should continue, you say humbly. Don't you agree? I do, Genie HD says seriously. We can't give up. Dear God, Jefferson, if we fail, the consequences... what would the consequences be exactly? You are about to respond, but before you can open your mouth, the ground before you gapes open and a horrendous yet oddly beautiful figure, with glowing red eyes and mighty antlers, emerges from the depths. Who dares summon the dear God? Oh, dear God, I see. It howls in a voice echoing as if in a deep cavern. Attempt to explain the misunderstanding. This is probably our ticket. Ticket to success. As the dust settles, you see before you a mighty white stag with glowing red eyes and golden antlers. You tremble bodily and quake in your boots as the apparition gazes upon you. Who hath summoned me? The deer booms. What foolish mortal dares to disturb my slumber? O great antlered one, you say earnestly. Your awakening is not the result of intent, but of how do you pronounce that? It's a homophone, but it's homophony? That sounds so stupid. Homophony also sounds dumb. I don't know how you pronounce that. The antlered creature cocks its head and its eyes flash menacingly, but it does not otherwise react. Ask for the dear God's help. We are on a quest to destroy the spectre of modernity, and we would ask for your help in our noble cause. And why would I help you, foolish mortal? To protect our way of life, to preserve friendship, because modernity destroys beauty, because modernity has no space for love, to preserve the ideals of loyalty, talk about umami. I mean, I guess the dear God would care about, beauty? It's gonna destroy the natural world? And all that? I guess? Because, you say, clutching your guitar sincerely to your chest, we humans value art. Okay, that's not what I meant by beauty. We value beauty, and that makes us unique in the cosmos. Modernity has no place for art and no sense of aesthetics. All it cares for is progress. And look at your mountain, great antlered one. Is it not beautiful in a way wholly untouched by the modern world? Would you not preserve it if you could? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was getting at. The antlered creature considers this carefully. You are right, it finally says. This mountain, this rugged, peculiar beauty that only we can see, is worth preserving. Here, take a piece of my antlers, that was easy, and use it well. And with that, the dear God vanishes back into the ground. And now we just go immediately, okay? Go and confront the spectre of modernity. I have the power of a deer antler on my side. When you approach the lair of the Spectre of Modernity, you decide to leave your companion behind, knowing that you cannot risk another life in this final confrontation, and Ginny is just cool with that. Sometimes heroes have to stand alone. Enter the mechanical lair. Inside the mechanical lair, the Spectre of Modernity waits for you, sitting translucently on a titanium throne. The Spectre of Modernity, you murmur through gritted teeth. We meet at last. You are mistaken, Professor Dr. Goldboom, the Spectre of Modernity says. We have met many times before. I am your father and your mother. Request clarification. Who do you think inspired you to add the power of electricity to your guitar? Who upgraded Ginny from ST to HD? They're good points. Who indeed deciphered the mathematical secrets of the chords, that arcane knowledge upon which some of your greatest adventures depend? I was your ally all along, Jefferson. The foul wizard of crime has conspired to turn you against me. It was he who enchanted your klaxon. That actually makes a lot of sense, sorry. Yeah, it makes sense. Technology might be kinda cool after all. No biggie, says the Spectre. Now let us defeat the wizard of crime together. Even now he conspires to steal all that you have accomplished with the power of his enchantments that confuse the mind. Go back to the Institute. You rush back to the Goldboom Institute, where you find the wizard of crime taking advantage of the absence of your heroic friends. Where's, Malcolm and the other guy? Out seeking other ways to stop the Spectre of Modernity, I see. To rifle through your belongings. He is surprised to see you. I see my scheme has failed. Curses. Were it not for that scheming Spectre, I would have stolen all your wealth and added it to my ever-growing hoard. For that is my scheme, to steal and steal until the whole world is mine. Ahaha. And so you arrest the foul sorcerer instead of the development of human potential and become good friends with the Spectre of Modernity. Just call me Mo, the Spectre says. I'm sure we'll have many wonderful adventures together. The end. Okay, well if I knew it was that short, I could have kept going last time, I guess. Restart. Alright, but now we gotta try all of the other branches, of course. And yeah, now we just have to, wait for everything. So, let's speak to John Malcolm. Chirp, chirps John Malcolm. You clutch your guitar, perplexed by the strange greeting. John, are you well? I'm fine, my friend, John Malcolm says as he gets out of his motorcycle, not off. I am merely practicing the songs of my ancestors. Your ancestors? The mighty hawk and the humble red robin. Wait, isn't that backwards? As you are descended from the apes, us dinosaurians are descended from the folk of the air. I see. Life, my friend, is a never-ending cycle. Okay, fair enough. One species rising from the ashes of the last. You're about to comment on the prodigious size of John's wisdom when a klaxon resounds throughout the Goldboom Institute. We'll ask what he thinks. Chirp, chirp. Chirp, chirps John Malcolm loudly, before he shrugs his reptilian shoulders. Sorry, my friend, I'm afraid this saying doesn't translate very well. Maybe you should shut the klaxon off before we continue this conversation. I will shoot the klaxon. You try to aim your gun at the machine, before you inconveniently remember that you don't have a gun. Oh no, cries Ginny HD. Jefferson, don't you remember that you're a pacifist now? You must do something else against this dreadful noise. The klaxon bleats louder, as though to mock your pacifistic ways. Guess the password. Apparently it has a password now. You try to guess the password using the unbreakable cipher 654321 passed down by your ancestors. But the central computer system tells you that the password must contain at least one uppercase letter, one lowercase letter, a symbol, a number, and a hieroglyph. Oh drat, Frankie Soy Sauce shrieks. Jefferson, what will you do now? Guess again. You consider this conundrum. The code has to be devilishly complex, for sure. For your mathematically inclined brain knows that a code with so many variables is almost impossible to crack. After much thought, you finally enter 6A4E ampersand 21, and the Egyptian hieroglyph QJS, I don't know, depicting a man riding two giraffes. The klaxon, unimpressed by this, blares on. And we don't have any choice, okay. So, chord, yeah, perfect chord. Talk to your team. And then instead of checking John's findings, we'll ask what the threat is. A shudder goes through John Malcolm's magnificent plumage. Something far more dangerous than anything we've encountered so far, Jefferson, he proclaims. Oh, John Malcolm, what is it? Exclaims Ginny HD. What could it possibly be? We have already defeated the dastardly Dr. Elian. What could be more dangerous than him? This time, my friends, John Malcolm says after a pause of precisely 2.5 seconds, we will be up against the Spectre of Modernity. Take action. Okay. Let's keep going with the John Malcolm route. Ah, Jefferson, I'm honored that you would choose me as your companion on this quest, John Malcolm says, flapping his flightless, sparsely feathered arms in gratitude. Together we will defeat the Spectre of Modernity, and our adventures will live on in song for generations to come. Tell me, friend Jefferson, where shall I take us on my motorcycle? Just instantly go to the Spectre. Okay, kinda weird. And then we just leave him. And then we don't have anything, so like, lies, attack the Spectre. I'm just gonna get my ass kicked, right? The Spectre of Modernity. Wait, what? What do you mean use the Dear God's Antler? I haven't done that! I guess it remembered? That's kinda weird. The Spectre of Modernity laughs. Foolish human, you cannot defeat me. I shall conquer you and drag human world and the 9th dimension into the future, kicking and screaming. All that is holy will be profaned, and there will be progress if it's the last thing I do. I think, you say coolly, that the last thing you should do is die. Let's flail about uselessly. You cannot stand against me, foolish human, the Spectre says with another laugh. All the powers you have ever had were my gifts to you, even your precious guitar. And with that, it squishes you like an ant. The human world and 9th dimension are doomed to an eternal forward march, until finally all that is solid melts into air, into thin air. What does that mean? Game over. Okay. That's great. So let's go with the, I forget the other guy every single time. Frankie Soy Sauce. Jefferson, my old friend, it's been too long. Frankie Soy Sauce quips as you walk over to the coffee bar. Yes, Frankie, you answer. It is high time that we have another adventure together, since you missed the last one. You mean the fight against the dastardly Dr. Elian, which brought you to the 9th dimension, where you met John Malcolm and his velocious velociraptors, and saved human world from the Solvo-Sonic Super Thruster with your guitar? The very same, you nod sagely. I am sad to have missed it, Frankie mourns, but I am sure you'll be once more playing your guitar to save the human world before we know it. It is what you do, after all. You're about to agree with him, because Frankie is right, when a klaxon resounds. Yep, okay. What's happening, Frankie? Sorry, buddy, I can't hear you. Frankie drawls over the noise. It's the damn klaxon of doom. I knew we shouldn't have set the volume to 11. If you want to ask me something, you should probably shut it off first. Frankie eloquently waves his coffee cup in the direction of the central computer terminal, which is conveniently located next to the coffee bar. Shut the klaxon off. You walk over to the computer terminal and attempt to shut down the klaxon, but the machine refuses to accept your command without the correct password. John Malcolm revs up his motorcycle, a sure sign that he is deeply worried. Jefferson, you have to do something about this noise, he calls. Guess the password? And then guess this one. Okay, it's just... Wait, no, this is different. Okay, so we have to try the third one then as well. After much thought, you finally carefully type Genie HD's assembly date, her first and last name, followed by a heart emoji and the Egyptian hieroglyph HQT. The klaxon, unimpressed by this, blares on. And we take Frankie Soy Sauce with us. Let me just finish this cup of café au lait. Or café au lait, I forget how you pronounce that too. Buddy, and then we can leave. I'll be no good to you before I've had my 7 cups of joe. You see the wisdom in your young friend's words. For being a human being yourself, you know very well that your kind can't function well without imbibing the prerequisite amount of the mildly toxic stimulant. I swear, Frankie Soy Sauce says, the world wouldn't be the same without coffee. We have to defeat this specter, even just to preserve this beverage. But Jefferson, bud, where will we start? Where can we possibly manage to find a way to defeat this villainous entity? Why can we not... Is it, like, did it just remember that I went to the islands? And, like, because I've done that one time, I can't do any other ones? I thought it was just like, oh, Ginny is the only one that can do that for some reason, but no, I guess because we have the antler, I can't. So I mean, I guess let's use the antler, and then, like, maybe then it'll properly reset and you can do something else? I don't know, kind of weird. Let's request clarification. That makes a lot of sense, but attack. Foolish human. Use the deer god's antler. You pull the piece of antler that the deer god gave you from your pocket, summoning the great ruminant mammalian spirit itself. Faced with a more noble and powerful spirit, the very spirit of nature itself, the spectre of modernity screeches in fear before the deer god impales that cursed spirit on its antlers, ending its life once and for all. And you live happily ever after. The end. Well, I think the other ending is probably better. But then, like, if I now do it again, can we not go to any other place? So let's speak to Ginny. Let's just shut it off. Let's guess the password. And let's do this one. Knowing this... Oh? Yeah, this works. Knowing this, and knowing how fallible the soft human brain is, you turn around your guitar to check the underside of the trusty instrument. There, written in hasty calligraphy, is the password for the central computer console emergency klaxon emergency shutdown procedure. You type the code with trembling fleshy digits, and the klaxon mercifully falls quiet. Maybe it's because I just, like, don't ask what it is, but probably not. So, let's try taking Ginny with me again. And no, we don't get to. So, I mean, I guess if I really wanted to check the other paths here, I would need to, like, actually load a backup and redo it from scratch instead. And I don't think I really care about that. That's a little bit too much effort. I mean, I do have backups, so it's not like it would be that bad, but I assume, like, nothing much would happen on the other islands, and, like, you would just meet the deer god. Because, like, you pick one of ocean islands or jungle, right? And it's probably, like, nothing, and then you have to go to Icy Mountain, and then you meet the deer god, probably. But I guess you can, like, miss out on the deer god thing. Yeah, I'm not too sure, but I think I'm good on that. Unless it's for some reason, like, now, if I go in and it's, like, now restarted, let's go through one more time. I'll just do it myself, and then we'll see, like, if it's properly reset. Yep. No opportunity to do anything else. I picked every single option that I did the first time. Yeah. Too bad. We can't even, like, check the deer god and, like, tell it about umami or something. So, oh well. Whatever, I guess. You can't, like, stop this now? Nope. No way to just, like, cancel out of this. Oh. Yeah, there we go. E. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that's good. Like, I don't think I want to go through every single possible branch of every single thing. Like, obviously it's not going to be as much as in Talos 1, because there's not that many terminals here. At least, not yet. But yeah, like that was a little tedious in Talos 1. And if I have to, like, constantly load backups after every single time we pick one option, I think I'm good without that. I guess feel free to let me know if there's any, like, particularly great branches that I'm missing on this thing or whatever. But yeah, we'll leave it off there. Just Jefferson Goldboom, and we have 2 more things, so I guess next time we'll get into an argument. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you then.